Hello viewers, and welcome back to my series of finding useless or not frequently talked about facts about the various monsters in Monster Hunter. Thank you so much for the positive reception for the last video, even if I managed to get some of the Japanese and Chinese translations slightly incorrect. As promised, the most liked comment would be the monster I focused on next, and this time it's the SELTAS family. I know it should only be SELTAS Queen, but to be honest there's very little that hasn't been spoken about already in regards to the whole family, let alone the OG Queen. So therefore, in order to make this video entertaining, I will be talking about all 4 monsters. Now before I start, remember to leave a comment or like someone else's to decide which monster I talk about next week. Once you've done that, here we go. Starting off with weapons this time, as there isn't actually too much to talk about here. Firstly, in the case of the gun lance for the green duo, it's quite fun. The original weapon starts off with each iteration being Monsieur, Gentil and Seigneur. Each of these refer to a masculine figure of importance in European countries, though it should be noted that none of these are as important as royalty. While on the other hand, once upgraded into the Hyper Tree, the gun lance switches to firstly being referred to as Madame, and so therefore a feminine figure of importance, but then it switches into SELTAS Butchery, perhaps showing while SELTAS does work with SELTAS Queen, it isn't necessarily safe from her. Before continuing with the rest of the weapon trivia, it should be noted that all SELTAS gear, whether that's SELTAS, Queens, or Desert varieties, are all based on mechs, specifically Gurren Lagann for pretty obvious reasons. The only other 4 weapons I thought was worth mentioning were the Dual Blades, Sword and Shield, Bow and Insect Glaive. Dual Blade's final Hyper Tree form is known as Gyramina, which the latter half of the name is used in Spanish and Persian to refer to ores or gems. In the Insect Glaive's case, it's called Hapa, which has many different meanings in various different languages. The meaning I believe is most relevant would be the Japanese meanings, specifically the idiom Hapa wo kakaru, which means to provoke someone into trying harder. However, it also means leaf, and it could be possibly a reference to the shape of the glaive. The relevant Bow and Sword and Shield belong to the Desert SELTAS Queen. The Sword and Shield's final upgrade is called the Gartered Rood, rood being a type of crucifix. Although seemingly out of nowhere, this would match various other weapons. As previously mentioned, they call back the Mecha anime, and many of those shows have vast arrays of biblical references. Neon Genesis Evangelion obviously comes to mind here. Finally, the bow is called Gold Popilia. Funnily enough, Popilia is an actual beetle genus, and the most famous member is the Japanese beetle known as the Popila japonica. Each member of the SELTAS group only has a single render as well as a single icon. Although both SELTAS and its queen has appeared twice, their desert varieties are stuck in 4U, with the whole group being stuck in 4th gen. SELTAS and queen's render consists mostly of these colours. The desert variations consist mostly of these colours instead. The name SELTAS is used in 2 languages, French and English, while the SELTAS queen is only used in 1 language, that being English. In Japanese, SELTAS is referred to as
Aruseltas,
while SELTAS queen is referred to as
Generuseltas.
the former being a unique name to my knowledge, while the latter means SELTAS general. The subspecies are both referred to as SELTAS and SELTAS general subspecies in Japanese, as most subspecies follow this naming convention in Japan. Each SELTAS is referred to a different nickname in Japanese, those being Piercing Beetle, Axe Beetle, Heavy Beetle, and Cannon Beetle. In Chinese, these nicknames are used as their official names, while strangely there doesn't seem to be any new name used for the desert variety. Which may seem odd at first, but this is due to 4U not being released in China, whereas GU was released there. According to the description found in Monster Hunter Stories 2, the queen apparently used to be able to fly, and most descriptions actually reference how it can't. SELTAS Queen is also one of only 2 monster species to commit cannibalism, the other being Thunder Serpent Narwa. I think it's quite entertaining that the spectrum of Monhan cannibalism goes from a bug to essentially a thunder god. I should also note that the cannibalism is probably present in other species in lore books and etc., but these are the only 2 monsters that do it in-game specifically. SELTAS Queen is only infected with Frenzy once an infected SELTAS has hopped onto its back. This could suggest that the Queen has a higher tolerance for the virus. In the popularity poll, the SELTAS family were all ranked fairly low, all falling under 100. In order of popularity, it went SELTAS Queen at 104th, SELTAS at 172nd, Desert SELTAS Queen at 195th, and finally in joint last place as overall least popular monster is Desert SELTAS at 228th. The final fact is that SELTAS Queen is one of the few monsters that leave all types of traps very ineffective. This is due to the SELTAS on her back that'll lift her from pitfall traps, or continue to attack you if she's in a shock trap. That's all the useless facts I could come up with for the SELTAS family. I really hope they return in the Wilds expansion, and these bugs really do deserve some love, because their placements in the poll were very surprising to me. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.